Hi guys and gals and all my non-binary friends. I know I'm a little late and definitely not a dollar short. So today we're going to be talking about Bridgerton season 1. And I'm going to be talking about the whole series. Let's get into these characters, honey. So today we're going to be talking about Bridgerton. I got my little corset on. Now listen, this is not what it was given for the Regency era, but it's what it's given for me for this video. Okay, thanks. We're going to run through some of the cast members because some of them just not important like this. So we have George. George is the youngest Bridgerton and he just seems very annoying. He's always bothering Hyacinth. No, George is the second youngest. Hyacinth is the youngest. Hyacinth is the last baby girl older. George is always bothering her and yeah, he's annoying. He seems very annoying. Hyacinth, she seemed very nosy. She was all up in Daphne's business that one time. Seemed very, very nosy. Francesca literally disappeared. Francesca is the third youngest Bridgerton. She just disappeared. If you don't even know who I'm talking about, I'm not surprised because they literally disappeared the fuck out of that girl. Cressida Capita, bald-headed scallywag, okay? Listen, Shawty was trying to play the game, whatever, but I understand why she was mad at Daphne. But Daphne had her own shit going on, and as soon as it didn't work out, you came and stole my man, and then you didn't even marry him? Like, I'd be pissed too. I'd be pissed. Madame Delacroix, I think that's how you say her name. She was cool. I ain't got no problem with her. Like, she was cool. I definitely was like, when Eloise thought she was Lady Whistledown, I could believe it. I fell for it. But yeah, her and Benedict definitely didn't offend me. I wasn't mad. I love slutty people, so this was great. It was cute. She was cute. And she was holding it down for Sienna when Anthony was wasting her time. It was cute. Speaking of Sienna, you know what? One thing about her, she kept it moving. She was like, you know what, Anthony, I ain't got time for you and your bullshit. She kept it moving. Like, yeah, she went back a couple times because that's what people do. But in the end, she didn't let him waste her time. Like, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Will is Simon's best friend. I don't care what Anthony's saying. I don't care what Simon is saying. Will is Simon's best friend. Anthony and Simon ain't never been friends with each other. They used to just be sluts together. But they ain't never was friends. Will and Simon was friend. And Will is Simon's best friend. And you can't convince me otherwise. Period. Next on the list, we have Nigel Bergman. That man is a creep. He's a fucking creep. And it's all Anthony's fault that this man who's been creeping on your sister since she was a kid almost married her. No, actually thought he had the right, was entitled to her. Saw her as a piece of cattle. Like, Simon got his ass beat by a couple twice. Like, once by the man, once by the woman. Like, you getting beat, you are creeping out. It was nice to see him get beat up. Like, honestly, I was just happy. I was so happy. So happy when Daphne punched him. Because it was like, oh, you thought Simon was going to help her. No, Simon didn't have to help her. She punched the fuck out. She knocked his lights out. That boy was laying down. His mama was weird too. And that's why he's weird. Philippa, that's like one of the Featherton girls. She's the one that ended up actually getting married. Philippa was cute. When they was talking about that little cheese, I was like, oh, look at her finding happiness. That's cute. That's cute. You know what I'm saying? And I understood when she was mad because her dad, like, scared him away or whatever. She got her little happy ending and she was cute. Prudence. Prudence. We'll talk about you next time, okay? In the next video on the second season, that's when I'll talk about Prudence goofy ass. Justice for Marina. Justice for fucking Marina, because Marina, I really thought, like, I had a feeling that George, not George the son, but George her man, yeah, it's the Regency time, so it's a lot of Georges, okay? But George's Marina baby daddy, yeah, I really thought he was gonna come save her because I just thought that was the kind of show I was watching. But I felt like it wasn't fair, like, why she can't have a happy ending? I ain't like that. Because then Portia was doing her so wrong. That's Lady Featherton. That's Philippa and Prudence's and Penelope's mom. Lord Featherton's wife. Lady Featherton, I'll get to you. But yeah, she was just locking this girl up in rooms and stuff. I'm just like, poor Marina. Poor fucking Marina. And her and Colin could have been happy. I wish that it's all Lady Featherton's fault. It's literally all Lady Featherton's fault because, like, that girl, I just hate that for her. You know, I really thought her man was gonna come and a little bit of part of me did think he was gonna die, but like I said, I thought this was the kind of show where everybody got their happy ending. But apparently everybody but Marina get to find somebody that they love. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really didn't like that. I really didn't like that. I hated that for Marina. Like, I really hated that for her. And she was so sweet. She was so sweet until those people made her not be sweet no more. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, this woman's scheming. Like, why she really scheming, but she had to do what was best for her. Like, she knew once Portia showed her being poor, she's like, I'm not scared to be poor. And then Portia's like, but what about your children? And Marina was like, you got a point there. Let me go find me a man. And she did what she had to do. Now, I wish she had the opportunity to know that she could have found somebody who cared about her enough that would take care of her. You know what I'm saying? Because she did find that. But she was never given the chance to even think that that was a possibility, because Portia was down her neck. But I get to Portia when it's her turn. But yeah, justice for Marina. Colin. Speaking of Colin has a little bit of a pig nose. That's just my opinion. It's not necessary to say, but I just thought, why not? I just feel like Colin's, like, all of these Caucasian people are not fine or sexy to me. They are ugly. But you know, I don't like calling people ugly, so I'm just gonna say he cute in his own way. He cute in his own specific kind of way. And I feel that way about a lot of these white people. But yeah, I feel like people be trying to act like Colin be doing Penelope wrong. I don't think Colin be doing Penelope wrong. I think Colin is oblivious to a lot of stuff. He be getting caught up. Colin be getting caught up. He's sweet and naive. That's what Colin is. And you know what I'm saying? I think it was incredibly sweet for him to want to, like, he told Marina, like, if you would have just told me straight up what was going on, I still would have married you. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of person Colin is. And that's why I fuck with Colin. I really do fuck with Colin. I think Colin is really sweet. I think Colin is really, really sweet. And he's very endearing. And yeah, he's naive. But that's also what makes him so sweet, is because he just sees the best in people. You know what I'm saying? And I really hate that him and Marina couldn't be together. I know there's people out there rooting for Penelope and Colin, and I don't got a problem with Penelope and Colin, but I'm sad for Marina not being able to be with somebody that she had chose. You know what I'm saying? So much throughout Marina's situation, it feels people were taking the choice away from her, but she made that choice and it worked out. Like, she actually got what she said she was gonna get, and she got what she wanted. But because she was told that she couldn't be fully honest in the situation, and she thought that was her best option, she couldn't even keep it. You know what I'm saying? And I just hate that for her and Colin. They could have been cute together. Now, Benedict, love her. I love Benedict. I think he's so cute. I think he's so sweet. He's a little too harsh on himself, and that's why he be like, he's very critical of himself and others, and that's why he can't, like, you know, do anything about him wanting to be an artist, because he's just like, oh, it's not perfect, so it's shit. And it's like, boy, you don't gotta be perfect. Just do what you want to do. I love him and Louise together. I think they're so freaking cute. Like I said, him and the Modis did not offend me at all. I didn't have a problem with that. I love a threesome. You know what I'm saying? You know, three's a company. I love a throuple. You know what I'm saying? So them having that first encounter was cute to me or whatever. And yeah, I think Benedict's cute. I think he's cute. He's harmless. He's, you know, he's just the second born, and he's trying to figure himself out. Portia, aka Lady Featherton. You know what? Mobbing, looting, scheming, plotting, hide your bodies. Okay, Miss Portia, she gonna get the job done. Now, it might backfire on her, but Miss Portia gonna find some kind of scheme, some kind of plot to get her out of trouble, because she stay getting herself in trouble, because she always into something. You know what I'm saying? And unfortunately for her, her man ain't shit. Speaking of, how did I miss him? That man. That's speaking of her man. Portia was like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You can talk to me however you want to. I still do whatever I want, so I really don't care. She really got tired of that man, Lord Featherton, when he tried to take Felipe's husband away from her. You know what I'm saying? She was like, you be talking crazy to me. You ain't really doing nothing. You ain't that popping in. You gonna take away my daughter's chance at, you know, securing her future. Bitch, what? No, I'm about to. And she found her little scheme like she always does. Found out this, went all through his stuff, found out he been gambling away all the funds, can't even pay for the girls' diaries. And that's a big thing. The girl's father or family has to pay for her to get married or whatever. But yeah, and as soon as she find out this man want to cry, don't be crying. Don't cry now, because this whole time you've been talking to me crazy and now you want to cry. I could not with him. Very unserious. Very unserious. I could not. When I saw that, I was like, for real, you was pathetic. You was literally pathetic. Like, you been out here talking crazy to your lady this whole time, and then when she find out the truth, you want to cry. Don't cry to me. Don't cry to me. But yeah, Portia, by any means necessary. By any means necessary, she will get what she got to get done. That lady crazy. Next up, Queen Charlotte. Queen Charlotte is a menace. Queen Charlotte is a menace to society. Like, she comes in and she gonna wreck shit because she can. Just simply because she can. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not mad at it. Like, honestly, I'm not mad at it. Like, I really am not. Like, she was like, listen, I'm rich and I'm bored. I don't got nothing better to do. You know what I'm saying? I'm just the queen. So y'all need to entertain me. So I'm gonna pick one of you hoes I think is the best hoe. This gonna be my bottom bitch. Yeah, my bottom bitch Daphne, come to the motherfucking floor. And I'm gonna make sure everybody know that you my bottom bitch. And if you're not doing the top shit, I'm gonna put my finger on it. You supposed to be marrying the Duke. The Duke taking too long to propose. You know what I'm doing? I'm gonna give you a prince because I said you was the top bitch. So you're gonna get top bitch shit. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't mad. I was not mad at Queen Charlotte at all. I just think she's a menace to society. She be coming for folks next. She be coming for folks next, and I love it. Now, I was told that what she was sniffing was tobacco. I should think that she be sniffing white girl. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just fun. Like, she just likes to party and have a good time. And ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Eloise. Eloise, again, is a menace to society. Like, Eloise be out here clearing the girls. Clearing the girls. Clearing the girls. It be taking me out for real. Like, you don't have to come that hard at people. Like, Eloise, come on, chill out. But yeah, I think Eloise and the queen too, honestly, I think both of them are very sweet. Like, yeah, they always eat somebody up, but it's because, like, well, the queen is just messy, but she still gave Daphne the opportunity to decide if she wanted to marry Simon, ultimately. You know what I'm saying? Even though she had them begging at her feet, y'all, like, y'all gonna explain to me why y'all stopped my diamond from marrying a prince. Like, what the fuck is y'all doing? Or whatever, you know what I'm saying? She didn't know how to stay in her own business, but you know, that's neither here or there, because she's a queen, so I guess she can do stuff like that. And ultimately, she was like, you know what? This is cute. Daphne, do you want to wear this, man? Because you is my diamond, so you get to choose. And I like that. And I think Eloise is very sweet because when she saw that Nigel Bergman was going after her sister, she tried to stay in there with Daphne. Daphne grabbed her hand. She tried to stay, and her mama wouldn't let her. Her mama would not let her. Her mama would not let her. Eloise is very me-coded. You know what I'm saying? I be eating the girls up, but I be very inconsiderate trying to be radical. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? Eloise could be, she's saying that she's trying to speak up for women, but she did not respect the women that she was supposedly speaking up for, because at the end of the day, you want Daphne to be able to choose and not have to be a part of, like, this basically being, like, given to the highest buyer or whatever. But you don't respect Daphne, you always coming for Daphne, and it's like you want to change the system, but you judging Daphne for doing what the best she could to survive in that system. You understand what I'm saying? So Eloise, very cute, very funny, but I also think she wasn't that great of a friend to Penelope, because she would just be complaining at Penelope. She did not see Penelope as a person. Like, she didn't care about what Penelope had going on. That's how it came off to me. Like, she just cared about what she had going on, and I ain't like that. The thing that's the problem with Eloise, and it's a problem with a lot of feminists, it's a problem with a lot of people, a lot of women, is that they think they're girls, but they're really not. Like, Eloise, at the end of the day, you can think that you're so much better, that you're bigger than this system, but if you treat the women that are trying to just survive in this system like the men do, then you're no better than the system. You know what I'm saying? You're no better than the people who see women as nothing but cattle. You know what I mean? But yeah, the problem with Eloise is that she thinks she's a girl's girl and she's not. She wasn't the best friend to Penelope. She didn't listen when Penelope talked. She judges Daphne, trying to make the best out of the situation she was put in by birth or whatever. And she's fighting for women's rights, but not fighting for the women right in front of her sometimes. So yeah, love her, but she has a lot of growing to do. Speaking of Penelope, I was not expecting Penelope to be Lady Whistledown. I did not see that coming at all. I don't know why. I didn't think they were gonna tell us who Lady Whistledown is. I really kind of just saw her like, I don't know, I just didn't see that coming. So when that became like a focal point, I was like, I wasn't really thinking like, who is she? You know what I'm saying? So I completely missed that. That was crazy. But when you go back and watch it, like, yeah, the only business that was being told was really the Feathertons in-house business and the Bridgertons in-house business. And Penelope has access to both of those houses vis-a-vis Eloise telling her what's going on in her house, and also her going over to that house, and you know, her living in her own house, because that was the reason why Marina's business was open. And I feel like, I don't know about Penelope. I feel like rewatching that, I'm just like, did Penelope ever really care about Marina, or was she just getting all the tea? Was she just interested in the tea? Like, I just feel like, don't get me wrong, I don't dislike Penelope, but I just see her in such a different light after watching it a second time. Like, I didn't watch it all the way through a second time, but just like when I was watching it, I was like, whoa, did she ever even give a fuck about Marina, or was she doing that just so she can get Marina tea? Because as soon as Marina would tell her what was going on, she run to tell Eloise, but Eloise don't care enough to listen to her because she just want to complain. But yeah, Penelope got a fat ass crush on Colin and don't know how to just say it, or isn't allowed to just say it based off of, you know, society rules. I really don't know. And so instead of just telling Marina that, she gonna tell old girl's business. Like, I just really thought Penelope made a lot of selfish decisions, that she was trying to act like, oh, then you didn't know, bitch, you're selfish as fuck. Like, you're literally just very selfish. I don't know. Like, coming to think about it, I just felt like Penelope was just all up in Marina's business. She pretended like she gave a fuck about her, and she really didn't. And whenever people don't do what she want her to do, them to do, she just gonna put their business in her little newspaper. I don't know. I really was not feeling that whatsoever. I just feel like, for real, justice for Marina, because Marina really got did dirty. She came to that town and got did dirty, and she ended up having to leave with the man she's loved's brother. And did y'all notice that the man that Marina ended up with looks just like Laura Featherton, who is supposed to be Marina's cousin? I just thought that was weird. I know that was probably definitely not on purpose, but I thought it was very weird. So let's talk about it. Lady Danbury. Okay, Lady Danbury, I love her down. She walk and talk like a pimp because she is, okay? She set up Daphne and Simon to begin with. She's the one that came to Lady Bridgerton about setting those two kids up. So she saw it from the beginning. Good for her. She know what the fuck she be talking about. I love her so much. She's the one that originally set them up. Like, she got all of this going, because we're gonna talk about it, but Daphne was literally in the hands of some creep, and Lady Danbury really came through. Next is Violet. Love Violet as well. I think Violet is very cute, very sweet. Violet got very freaky with her husband when they was together, so now she don't know how to talk about sex with her children, which I found very irresponsible. Not good on her at all. Girl, you better find them words. Find them words to tell them kids what's going to be happening with them. That leaves your children vulnerable. Don't be leaving your kids vulnerable like that because you blushing because all you can think about is what you and your husband be doing. No, this is something they need to know. Her kids don't listen to her anyway. Even if she told them, they don't even listen to her, so it really don't matter. And imagine Anthony being in charge of you, or thinking he's in charge of you, because he's not in charge of her. Like, I don't give a fuck what the rules say. I'm gonna do what I want to do. Imagine Anthony being your son. The woman's been punished enough, okay? Like, you know, she lost her husband, who in this time period, she was actually married to someone she loved and loved getting freaky with. Like, good, like, she's sad. She's been through enough. And Anthony is now in charge of her. It's just a bit much. And her kids don't listen to her. And they be keeping stuff from her. But she be knowing what she be talking about. And she also ultimately has their best interest in heart. She did shame Anthony for having Sienna, so she need to get a grip. Like, all this shit is so stupid. Like, speaking of Anthony looks ridiculous. Like, every time I look at him, I'm just like, you look so ridiculous. Like, you just look so stupid. I felt very much like, why are you in Daphne's coochie right now? Like, why are you so far up in Daphne right now? Okay, you need to back up. Let her find somebody. You think just because you know what somebody to put some bets on, which is valuable information, that trumps whatever aspect Daphne is also looking for herself. Like, yeah, give me advice, but don't decide that you're just gonna completely decide who I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, who's gonna be all up in me and having kids through me for the rest of my life. Like, boy, back up. And then after realizing your mistakes, instead of going to ask Daphne what she would like, you then decide to hook her up with Nigel Bergman, this man who said he's been peeping on her since she was 5. You're pathetic, you're weird, and you did Sienna wrong. You did not try to fight for Sienna. As soon as Violet threw a little bit of shit at Sienna, you want to be like, you need to leave. When you could be like, mother, I decide, I'm a lord. So guess what? I decide who's going to be a lady, but you didn't give a fuck about Sienna. Let's keep it a being. You did not give a fuck about Sienna. You did not give a fuck about Sienna. Anthony really get on my nerve. Like, Anthony really got on my nerve. That first episode when he was all up in Daphne's business and scared off all of her students, I was like, this man is sick. This man is sick. I did not like him. I felt like he was playing games with Sienna. I felt like he had nobody's best interest in her. He was very, very selfish. Very, very selfish. And always trying to fight. Even when Simon, like, that, you know that Anthony is not happy with himself because he was judging himself based off his own friend. If you don't think your friend, you think you've been out here doing the same thing as your friend, and now you don't want your friend anywhere near your daughter, that means, I mean, you're, see, that's how he was treating Daphne. Anywhere near your sister, you're fucking weird. Stop judging yourself for the choices you make and make better fucking, that you've made in the past, and make better fucking choices, Anthony. But you don't know how to do that. You're weird. You're weird. I can't stand Anthony because you really had her almost marrying Nigel. Like, are you fucking for real? Nigel, he's a creep. She literally, Daphne met Simon because she was running away from Nigel. Nigel is a fucking creep. And you had her basically, and he was entitled to marry her. Like, what is wrong with you? That really made me so mad. I'm still talking about it because it made me so mad. Now to the couple of the hour. Simon and Daphne, won't you please come down? Hold your applause. Yeah. I found them to be very boring. I found them to be very boring. You know what I will say about Daphne? Loved it when she punched that boy. I was like, yes, you can stand up for yourself. I love it. It's also like Daphne knew how to seduce a man, okay? Daphne knew how to get the girls going in the appropriate way. She had them men like, oh. As soon as she turned it on the prince was like, oh. She knew exactly what to do. She knew exactly what to do. She was that girl. In that sense of the word. Okay? In that sense of the word. Like, Daphne understood her role as like the oldest sister in the Bridgerton family, and how that means that whoever she marries brings up or takes down, whatever she does brings up or takes down the stock of her own family and her own sisters. And that really weighed heavily on her. She wanted to marry for love, but she also wanted to guarantee that her family was still going to be well off, and they had to figure out their place in it. You know what I'm saying? All of this shit, it's just white supremacy. It's all just white supremacy, and it just shows you how impossible white supremacy is to live up. Whether you're looking at Anthony and the fact that he wants to do whatever he wants to do, but because of the standards of white supremacy, he couldn't even do it. And it's like, girl, shut up. Anthony's so annoying. But yeah, like, all of this is just white supremacy, and her being like, you don't know, trying to explain to Anthony, like, you don't know what it's like to be this older sister. You talk about burden and duty, but you don't even halfway do your duty. But I take mine very serious, and mine is finding a suitor that brings up the standard for my younger sisters, and that also makes me happy. And you don't even care because you, like, I can't stand Anthony. But yeah, Daphne is also a graper. Yeah, she's a graper. And I think that people hate having those kind of conversations because they're like, why can't y'all just enjoy things? But I think a lot of times what you don't understand is it's not about whether or not that was okay to do. in the Regency period or whatever. The question is, does the audience know how to speak about it in today's terms? And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. Yes, okay, it was okay, but what is the moral standing today? And today is, you don't do that to people, and your audience needs to know that that's not allowed. They need to know that that's something you shame. And I don't think Bridgerton did any kind of job in making sure that Daphne was the one that was shamed for what she did to Simon, because at the end of the day, after she did that, the whole time we're spent trying to feel made us feel bad for Daphne because she was betrayed. Do I think that Simon, yes, he technically did lie because he didn't explain what he meant by I cannot have kids. It wasn't like a physical disability. It was like I don't want to do this because my father was shit, which, by the way, I think father, and again in the Queen Charlotte series, we have a problem making darker skinned men the villains and do really nefarious things. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, I meant to mention this in the whole Will, but Simon could have gave Will some money. Simon could have gave Will some money. I just feel like the love story, it was okay for me. Like, it was really okay for me. I understood these two characters separately. Together they had cute banter, but they're just not. I love me some smut. I love me some romance. I love when there's chemistry, and for me, the chemistry wasn't there. The sex was mid. I love a good fake dating too. It was cute. It was cute, but yeah, Daphne's weird. Daphne's weird. She shouldn't have did that. Like, you could have a conversation with your husband. You don't decide that he's gonna now be inside of you when he no longer wants to be inside of you. That's not how that works. But yeah, that's Bridgerton. And overall, very captivating. Very captivated. I end up watching all 3 seasons. So season 1 and 2 of Bridgerton, and then the 3rd season, which is a spin-off show called Queen Charlotte, in like 3 days. So very good. I'm gonna have more videos coming up talking about season 2, and then of course about Queen Charlotte. And when season 3 comes out, the official season 3 for Bridgerton, I'm going to also make a video about that, because I'm definitely interested in Penelope's story and what's gonna happen. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I just feel like F Anthony, like literally to this day, I've seen that first episode twice, and like the way he was just not there for Daphne at all, but wanted to act like he respected women, it was just really trifling. Like, I cannot stand Anthony. All right, and on that note, if you're not an Anthony hater, what are you doing? Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. Your time, your attention, we appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, wash your hands, wash your face, wear a mask, wash your ass, and don't be an Anthony lover.